This book is about Arthur Castillo, a character from the Sweet Valley Middle School series. Oh dear, they have a middle school series. I'll probably be expected to review those at some point. Also, oh dear, the middle school series is invading the main series? Sweet Valley, you got it backwards. The kids series is supposed to be a gateway for the main series, not the other way around.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Prince Arthur Castillo hails from the fictional kingdom of Santa Dora, and he's going to spend the next 3 weeks in Sweet Valley. All of the girls are excited and they want to date him. That is, all the girls except Dana Larson. Dana dislikes royal families in general, but she particularly dislikes Arthur because she figures he's a stuffy, pompous jerk. That's an oddly specific pet peeve, Dana. Based on the title of this book, I doubt it will last long. Arthur's first stop in town is lunch at Elizabeth's house, because of course it is. What foreign dignitary doesn't start a United States tour by visiting a random teenager's house? Well, okay, she's not a random teenager to him. He's visiting Elizabeth because they're pen pals. His letters are borderline romantic, so she makes a point of letting him down gently by telling him that she's got a steady boyfriend who she loves forever / regularly breaks up with. The girls meet Arthur, and Dana's heart beats faster when she sees how handsome he is. But she's determined to dislike him, and she gets mad when all the other girls fall over him. Jessica and Lila both try to get Arthur's attention by throwing elaborate parties. Sure, Jessica already has a boyfriend, but he doesn't count. Sam isn't rich or famous, so Jessica believes she's totally justified in cheating on him. Jessica is a horrible person. They discuss Hamlet in English class. Dana says the moral of the play is that princes are all selfish, awful people who abuse others without a second thought. Wrong, Dana. You're thinking of Jessica. Arthur is actually a nice guy. The teacher finds Dana's anger amusing, so he schedules a debate on Friday. Dana versus Prince Arthur, on the topic of whether or not royalty still has a place in the modern world. Dana goes first in the debate, and she's extra passionate about how royals waste their citizens' money. Arthur goes next, and he argues that his country's traditions are very important to them. The debate ends there, because rebuttals apparently aren't a thing in debates anymore. The judges decide Arthur's the winner, because he responded to all of Dana's points, but she didn't respond to any of his. That's not fair. Dana went first and got no chance to respond. It's literally impossible for her to have responded to Arthur's arguments. I think the judges made that up as an excuse for Prince Arthur to win, because nobody wants to be the high school teacher who accidentally caused a war between Santa Dora and the United States. Dana feels like crying, and she realizes it's because she's upset Arthur, so she runs away before her true feelings can be revealed. Arthur also realizes he's got a deep crush on Dana, and he asks Elizabeth for advice. She says to make a move on Dana at Jessica's party tomorrow. Of course, Jessica overhears half the conversation and mistakenly believes that Arthur's got a crush on her. So she goes overboard flirting with Arthur at the party. So far overboard, in fact, that her boyfriend runs away angry. There's a lot of that in this book. Jessica feels kind of bad for hurting Sam's feelings, but what can she do? Arthur's a prince, Sam is not. Jessica's plans for romance are dashed when he asks her if Dana will dance with him. Dana and Arthur dance for a few songs, and they make small talk. They talk about the debate, traditions, and royalty. Dana can't believe it, but she's falling in love with a prince. They have an all-day date the next day, and everything's so wonderful, Dana can't wait to kiss him. Jessica gives up on Arthur, and she goes crawling back to her boyfriend. Lila hasn't given up yet, and she starts secretly following Arthur all over town. She tries to get close to the prince by seducing his bodyguard, but all she learns is that Prince Arthur has a mysterious royal tradition coming up. Arthur and Dana have another romantic day together, and Arthur comes to Elizabeth. The mysterious royal tradition? It's marriage! In his country, princes have to be married, or at least engaged, by age 17. Arthur wants to marry Dana, but he doesn't know how to propose. Elizabeth tells him to be honest and straightforward with Dana. So Prince Arthur does the exact opposite! Yay! He proposes to Dana, but he leaves out the part about the royal tradition, because we need to milk this drama cow for all it's worth. Dana doesn't know how to respond. She loves Arthur, but according to Stephen's bride, married people aren't allowed to go outside the house. Dana's not sure if she's willing to sacrifice her freedom for love. Predictably, no one in the book points out that both Dana and Arthur are underage, and they've only known each other for 10 days at most. We can't let logic get in the way of the drama, Cow. Dana's mother is excited about the proposal, and she leaks the news to the press. Lila learns about the marriage tradition, and she leaks that news to the press. Dana's furious when she finds out. She figures Prince Arthur was tricking her the entire time. He didn't love her. He was only pretending to love her. She marches over to Arthur and breaks up with him. Lila's delighted with this. She tries to get Arthur's attention at her party, but he's too broken-hearted to notice Lila. He leaves in the middle of a dance, and she is so scorned. She's angry. And for a moment, it looks like Arthur's going to go back home without patching things up with Dana. But then Dana realizes on her own she totally overreacted, and she still loves Arthur passionately. So she runs to Arthur's hotel. They declare that they love each other, and he says he's not going to get married next year, royal tradition or no royal tradition. They decide to give their relationship another chance in several years once they've both finished with college. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book was good in that Dana and Arthur were likable characters, and their romantic scenes were nice. The storyline was extremely predictable, though. I could tell that the characters who hated each other would fall in love, and that the tragic misunderstanding would be cleared up by the end, and I even guessed that the royal tradition was marriage. So, by the book's plot, buoyed by good scenes and characters. It strikes me that the series would never do the gender reverse of this story. That is, we'd never see a princess come into town only to have all the guys fawn over her. This book had a little bit of drama, with the girls' boyfriends being jealous of Arthur, but not a whole lot. I suppose that could have been expanded upon and made into a full subplot. The previous book in the series was a serious story about Lila and date rape. This book strikes some people as a wildly inappropriate follow-up, especially since Lila spends most of this book being obsessive and stalker-like. Twice the book says Lila got counseling and she's fully recovered from her trauma, but she's not acting like it. I haven't read Don't Go Home with John myself, but I would agree that Lila is completely wrong for this role. Amy should have been the crazy prince-obsessed stalker, not Lila. Poor Lila has had enough to deal with. Overall, I like this book, if only because it's a romance-themed book, which is actually romantic. It's not like other books in the series where the romance isn't really romance, it's just an excuse for there to be fake breakup drama later on. Yeah, we get fake breakup drama here too, but the romance is good while it lasts, and I would be rooting for Dana and Arthur as a couple if he didn't completely disappear from the series after this. I give Sweet Valley High number 91, In Love with a Prince, an 8 out of 10.